Hadith number 4. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن سورة في القرآن 30 آية شفعت لرجل حتى غفر له وهي تبارك الذي بيده الملك. Hazrat Abu Huraira radiallahu anhu narrates that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, there is in the Quran a surah of 30 ayat which intercedes for a person, that is its reader, until he is forgiven. This is Surah Tabaarak alladhi biyadihi al-mulk. About Surah Tabaarak alladhi, there is a riwayat also that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, my heart desires that this surah should be in the heart of every believer. According to a hadith, one who reads Surah Tabaarak alladhi and Alif Lam Mim Sajda between the Maghrib, that is the dusk Salah, and the Isha Salah, is like a person who stands in Salah throughout the night, called Laylatul Qadr. That is the 27th night of Ramadan, the month of fasting, and the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. It is also reported that if somebody reads these two surahs, 70 virtues are added to his account and 70 sins are condoned. According to another riwayat, if one reads these two surahs, a reward equal to that of standing in Salah throughout Laylatul Qadr is written for him. This is also mentioned in Mazahir. Tirmizi rahimahullah reports from Ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma, some Sahaba pitched a tent at a place without knowing that there was a grave at that place. All of a sudden, those who were putting up the tent heard somebody reciting Tabaarak alladhi. They reported the matter to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, who explained to them that this surah guards against Allah's chastisement and ensures deliverance. Jabir radiallahu anhu reports that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam would not go to sleep until he had recited the surahs Alif Lam Mim Sajda and Tabaarak alladhi. Khalid bin Ma'dan radiallahu anhu has said that he heard it narrated, there was a man who was a great sinner, but he used to recite Surah Sajda. He never read anything else. This surah spread its wings over that man and submitted to Allah. O my Lord, this man used to recite me very frequently. So the intercession of that surah was accepted. It was ordered that each sin in his account should be substituted by a virtue. Khalid bin Ma'dan radiallahu anhu has also reported, this surah pleads for its reader in the grave and says, O Allah, if I am contained in thy book, then accept my intercession, otherwise write me off from thy book. This surah appears in the form of a bird, spreads its wings over the dead, and guards him against punishment in the grave. He has reported all these merits for Surah Tabaarak alladhi as well. He himself would never go to sleep unless he had read these two surahs. Ta'us rahimahullah has said, these two surahs carry 60 virtues in excess of those carried by any other surah. The punishment in the grave is not an ordinary affair. After death, the first stage that one has to pass through is the grave. Whenever Hazrat Usman radiallahu anhu stood by a grave, he used to weep so much that his beard would become wet with tears. Somebody asked him why he wept more at the mention of the grave than he did at the mention of heaven and hell. He replied, I have heard from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam that the grave is a first stage towards the hereafter. Whoever is saved from chastisement in it, for him the subsequent events become easy, and whoever is not saved from chastisement in it, for him the coming events will be harsher still. And I have also heard that no scene is more horrible than that of the grave. Allahumma ahfadna minhu bifadlika wa mannik. O Allah, save us from this punishment through thy mercy and grace.